Everybody here in the audience, so make some noise. Here we go. They face it off. Sydney, let's hear it for our main event of the afternoon. Come on, Sydney, let's hear it for these guys. 12 rounds, middleweight division, our main event on Sunday afternoon.
We not shaking hands. Even after the fight, I'm not shaking his hand.
How do you see the Errol Spence Tim Tszyu fight playing out, man?
Oh man, that's gonna be a great fight. If Errol gonna be himself, he should win. But we don't know what he got left.
Yeah.
But if Tim come in and be himself, he'll push Errol to the edge.
So you think that's like a true 50-50 fight, like a crossroad fight for both those guys?
No, I don't think so. I think Errol probably will.
Think Errol?
Yeah, I think he probably will win.
Tim Tszyu said, well, you didn't even want to shake my hand. You know, I don't got to shake your hand. We get ready to fight. That let me know that Errol Spence is in the right state of mind. He understands. He got work to do, pain to put in. You know what I'm saying? I like it. I think Tim Tszyu is looking at it like a lick. Like he think Errol. I don't think so.
Man, it's a hard call, but I'm going with Errol. I'm hoping Errol can withstand the onslaught that Tszyu gonna probably put up early, because if you get past 4 or 5 rounds, Errol definitely gonna beat him, because Errol to me is stronger later than anybody fight. You get him past round 6 and you got a problem in your hand. I don't care who it is. Especially if he ain't beat it up or nothing in the face. If you get to round 6, you got a problem, because that's when he starts to come alive.
Yeah.
Ask Ugas.
Ask Brooke, right?
Yeah.
Ask Ugas.
It's a hard one.
You know, it's a hard one.
I can't really give an opinion on it.
I can't. I want him to win. I really do want him to win. You told me to bet my house on it. You know, I'm not going to put my house on Tim. I think Spence at his best was a better fighter than Tim, but I'm 100% Team Tim Tszyu, and I hope he destroys him.
When a former world champion refuses to shake his opponent's hand before a fight, you know emotions are running high. During fight week, Errol Spence Jr. and Tim Tszyu shared an intense face-off that immediately grabbed everyone's attention.
Gentlemen, last time you were in the same room, perceived disrespect. There was no shaking of hands. Will we have that today or this week?
Man, I don't care to shake hands. I mean, that's not disrespectful at all. I just don't care to shake hands. We in a fight. Why shake hands for? I mean, he's been saying a lot of disrespectful stuff. I ain't saying nothing disrespectful to him. Been saying how you gonna, what do you say? He gonna take my eye or something like that. So, you know, so why would I shake his hand? He's saying all that I'm gonna lose the eye and stuff like that. Would you want to shake my hand if I say I'm gonna beat his ass to answer his life? I bet he wouldn't want to shake my hand, right? It's the same thing.
Tim, your thoughts?
We're gonna fight. Keep it simple.
Did that impact you, what he said about your retina? Was that something that didn't sit well with you?
I mean, I don't care. It's just, you know, he says stuff like that, then he want to have a gentleman handshake. That's not things gentlemen say. You say stuff like that, how you want to take my eyesight and things like that. Like, you say things like that, why would I want to shake your hand? But, you know, it's fight week, so it's almost fight time.
Spence kept a cold stare and offered no handshake, making it clear this fight was strictly business. Tszyu didn't seem bothered, claiming Spence looked nervous and that he was ready for whatever came next. But the tension goes much deeper than a simple stare down. After nearly 3 years away from the ring, Spence enters this fight with enormous pressure on his shoulders.
And he, obviously nothing's final, but he did think that potentially win, lose or draw with Tim Tszyu, this is a possibility that this is your last fight ever. Is that a potential?
I mean, yeah, it could be. Like I said, I'm really just playing it by ear, you know. Really just playing it by ear. It could be, or it could not. But it's just something I'm not thinking about right now. I'm just thinking about the fight, and you know, we'll think about that after the fight.
Well, for a guy that obviously is financially sound, you've ticked all that off. You've set your family up. You've done amazing things in the sport. Why come back then?
How you know I'm financially sound?
I heard you say it. Heard you said I've heard you say you've set up trust funds for the kids, and I've heard the rumours about the bag for Terence Crawford. So I mean, I'm going to assume that you're financially sound enough anyway to not have to come back.
Yeah. I don't have to come back, but that's one of those things. Like, why not? I started training. I started feeling good, feeling way better than I was feeling. And, it's just something in me. Just got the intuition.
Many believe this is one of the biggest moments of his career. Following his devastating loss to Terence Crawford in 2023, Spence disappeared from competition while recovering from multiple eye surgeries. Since then, fans have questioned whether he can still compete at the highest level. A long layoff is never easy in boxing. Timing, confidence, and conditioning can all suffer after years outside the ring.
Listen, I have to start with a disclaimer. I have wrestled with where I am on this fight, and the first and honest answer really is I don't know. Because there's just too much time, too many factors, too much uncertainty around what Errol might bring or what he has anymore. There's not enough for me to bite into to be like, oh, well, this is what I'm hanging on to say what will happen on, let's say, Saturday night, because the time in the middle is such a void. The fact that I'm invested in the end of Errol Spence's career being anything but getting the shit beat out of him by Terence Crawford and then getting smashed in Australia by Tim Tszyu makes me it's impossible for me to be anything but as biased as I actually am. Some people think we look alike. I hear that in the comments. So when I see him fight, you know what I mean? I see myself in there. Like, I'm one of those. I'm in this situation. I'm like, I'm one of these guys who see a reflection of myself.
Returning against a dangerous opponent like Tim Tszyu in front of a hometown Australian crowd makes the challenge even greater. The biggest question remains, is Spence still the relentless pressure fighter who dominated champions for years, or has the sport moved on without him?
When Errol first approached you to train him, what questions did you have, and did you get those questions answered?
Well, the first thing I asked him was, I said, have you been training? He said, I never stopped. I said, oh, cool, that's And then when he came down, and I saw him, I said, man, you look like you're in good shape already. He said, I tell you, I never stopped training. He said, I wasn't training like serious for a fight or nothing, but, every day I was doing something, and I kept my running up and stuff like that. So he said, man, I told him, most guys that be out 3 years be like 100 pounds overweight. I said, man, you look like you're on weight already. He said, I'm not far. So, and I said, okay. I said, let me put you through some hard workouts first. I said, then we could talk afterwards, and I'll let you know what I think. He said, okay, no problem. And I did, man, and I pushed him really hard the first day. I'm talking about really hard. And he said, what you think? I said, so far, so good. So after the first week, we sat down, and I told him, I said, man, one thing I'm glad about, you never stop working. I said, because you don't have to start from the beginning. Now you at a point to where I could just put a plan together, and we just, put a great game plan together, and you just work from there. And that's what we've been doing.
Just when everything seemed set, another surprise changed the storyline. The fight was moved to the 160-pound middleweight limit, and Tszyu announced he was leaving the super welterweight division behind. The decision sparked immediate debate. Some believe the higher weight benefits Spence after such a long break, while others think Tszyu will be stronger without cutting down to 154 pounds. Moving to middleweight changes everything. Fighters carry more power, punches become heavier, and mistakes are punished much harder. One clean shot could completely change the fight.
just some words on Errol Spence. Obviously, he's going to touch down here at some point before the fight. Just to see him come to your backyard, that's something that you'd dreamed of, I know.
Yeah, it's like you're sort of like, it feels like I'm defending my land, you know. Usually I'm very smart, calculated, that's how I am. But I really want to hurt this guy. I don't know, there's something about him that like I really want to hurt him. I respect what he's done, but we're not friends in there, that's for sure. So I just can't wait to get in there. And
even boxing's biggest names can't agree on who will win. Sebastian Fundora believes Tszyu has the edge, pointing to Spence's long layoff and the difficult trip to Australia as major obstacles. He thinks those factors could catch up with Spence as the fight goes on.
I favor Tszyu. I do favor Tszyu. He's been more active, and they're fighting in Australia. That's a big factor. That's a huge factor. You know, I don't know if Spence has ever been to Australia. He didn't even go to the one he was supposed to go to, the press conference. I know, I see it's a waste of time. Not really a waste of time, but for the PR. But to go over there and waste some 2 days of training, you know, it doesn't make sense. But you know, that layoff is gonna show some. I understand losing and then coming back to fight, and maybe you're fighting for like what I did. I lost, but I came back maybe a year later. But I was training still. At least I had that. At least I was training. We switched the environment. We were training in the mountains. All these things changed up, but we were still training. We were still in the circle. This guy's been out of the circle, what, for 3 years, 2 years? That's too much time. That's too much time. And you know he wasn't training. You know he wasn't training, man. So, you know.
Former two-division champion Zab Judah sees it differently. Judah believes Tszyu's aggressive style actually works in Spence's favor. Instead of boxing from long range, Tszyu likes to stand in front of opponents and exchange punches. That's exactly the type of fight Spence has thrived in throughout his career.
Dang. Your boy Spence.
I like him. Ronnie Shields is doing a marvelous job with him. He's got him moving his head and throwing punches. That's the Ronnie Shields movement. Yep, I remember these days. Move your head, throw the punches, slide around, keep moving. Move your head, slide around, keep moving. Walk your feet. Use the jab. I mean, listen, I know for a fact we're going to see a different Errol Spence than we've seen in the Terrence Bud Crawford fight. And I'm predicting that Errol Spence stops Tim Tszyu. 100%.
My boy says stops. Yo, you've been doing good with the stoppages lately, Soup.
I've been doing good, man. I've been on a roll, right? I've been on a roll.
You calling them stoppages?
A late stoppage. The reason why I pick a late stoppage because Tim Tszyu is gonna be very sharp early. He's gonna be looking to fight. He's young. He got a lot of heart. He's ferocious. He has tenacity, and he's gonna come in there and try to make this happen. You know what I'm saying? And I think that maybe for a while, because of Errol Spence's layoff and you know the long layoff, he's gonna take him a couple rounds to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But once he figure it out, I think later on in the fight, the big fish will turn back into the big fish, and he'll walk Tim Tszyu down, and he'll get a late stoppage. I'm predicting around the 9th round, though. Maybe the 9th round. The 9th round sounds pretty kosher to me.
Hall of Famer Roy Jones Jr. also expects an explosive battle. In his view, Tsyu's best chance is to attack early and force Spence into uncomfortable exchanges before he settles into the fight. The opening rounds could decide everything if Spence shows signs of ring rust.
It's going to be a slugfest. Who are you picking in the fight?
Man, it's a hard call, but I'm going with Errol. I'm hoping Errol can withstand the onslaught that Tszyu gonna probably put out early, because if you get past 4 or 5 rounds, Errol definitely gonna beat him, because Errol, to me, is stronger later than anybody.
However, Jones believes the momentum shifts if Spence survives that early pressure. Throughout his career, Spence has built his success on relentless pressure and punishing body shots that slowly wear opponents down. If the fight reaches the later rounds, his experience and work rate could begin to take over. Adding even more intrigue are the rumors about what's next if Spence wins.
You get him past round 6, and you got a problem in your hand. I don't care who it is. Especially if he ain't beat it up or nothing in the face. If you get to round 6, you got a problem, because that's when he starts to come alive.
Yeah.
Ask Ugas.
Ask Brooke, right?
Yeah.
Ask Ugas. Sean Porter. If he gets by Tszyu, it's the most stacked division in boxing right now. 154. Virgil Ortiz here in Dallas, Fundora, Zayas Boots, Charlo.
It's loaded.
Is he ready? If he wins impressively, is he ready to just go right back into the fray with those guys?
He is, and to test himself, I think if he beats this guy, he's going to go right for a title. I know him because that's just how he thinks. He ain't trying to play around. However, if he wins this fight, all depends on how the winner of this Xander fight looks. That might be his next opponent too. So, all depends on what he wants.
A potential blockbuster showdown with Virgil Ortiz Jr. has already been discussed, with Dallas mentioned as a possible location. It would be one of the biggest events of the year, but looking ahead can be dangerous. Tim Tszyu is not a warm-up fight. He's a former world champion fighting in front of his own fans with everything to prove.
I was asking you about, you mentioned Virgil and Spence, two Dallas kids growing up in the same gym, the Vero boxing gym. You know, I don't know if you know this though, Roy, this is all about quizzing you on Dallas, but that is Virgil's dream fight, is to fight Spence at Cowboy Stadium.
It should be both of their dream fights. If they had a fight right here in Cowboy Stadium, only fight that's going to be bigger than that is if Zayas could have beaten Boots and Zayas fight the Towering Inferno, because that's the Mexican-Puerto Rican rival. Other than that, in that division, the biggest fight in that division is right here at Dallas at Cowboy Stadium, Virgil Ortiz versus Errol Spence. If I were Errol Spence, that's what I would do next. Take this fight. If you get past Tszyu like he's supposed to, then you got to go with that next. I mean, that's going to make you more money than any of the other guys. And the other guys, to me, are higher risk than Ortiz is, because you know Ortiz.
And whether he has a title or not.
It don't matter.
Yeah. He's actually ranked number 1 at 154 by Ring, Virgil Ortiz.
The good thing about that is, though, the winner of the fight, if they did fight, you're not a fight for a title automatic. If you don't do it, see, this is what happens in boxing too much. When big fights like that are at the pinnacle, we try to do something else first. 12 rounds is 12 rounds. We don't need a belt to solidify 12 rounds. Then we would love a belt. Right. But the guys who got the belt are more dangerous than to get two guys we talking about fighting. But the fight we talking about the two guys fighting is bigger than the guys with the belts. But for the city of Dallas, it don't get no bigger than Ortiz versus Spence. You understand me? It don't get no bigger. So for me, I would love to see Earl win, then fight.
If Spence loses focus for even a moment, Tszyu has the power to end the night early. The betting odds reflect just how close this matchup is, with many viewing it as almost a 50-50 fight.
Yeah, awesome. Can I push you for the main event, see what your thoughts are?
Yeah, look, I think I'm like everybody. This is such a difficult equation to work out. You've got, on one hand, you've got Errol Spence, who's been, I don't know if you can say he's been out. He may not have fought for 3 years, but I bet money on it that he's been getting ready. Yeah. He's been working. And then you've got Tim, who has stayed busy. He's been through a bit, and he's ready to shine. So, how do you pick this one, mate? Honestly, you can't. Interestingly, I asked you earlier, just out of curiosity, I said, everyone seems to have the same opinion that this is a really great 50-50 fight. Yeah. And it could go either way, who knows, but someone that was with us mentioned that even the betting odds can't pick this fight. It never happens, but they're almost identical. Yeah. How do you work that out?
It is crazy, and I think I've almost said a few times now that I'll let you know after the end of round 2. I need to see it.
You're taking it easy.
Yeah. But it's almost like a keys to victory, and I do find it so interesting because, yes, he has been out. There's no questions. Tim's also been the guy too that has gone into the fire without those questions.
That makes the stakes even higher. For Spence, a victory could restart his championship journey and silence the doubters. Another defeat would leave serious questions about his future. For Tszyu, beating a former unified champion would be the biggest win of his career and put him right back among boxing's elite.
They always talk about like how rusty a fighter is after like a certain time layoff. Like, do you feel that at all as a factor in this?
I don't think so. I think, people use ring rust as just a mentality thing. I feel like, why can't you fight? Like people say, people get old overnight, and I don't think people get old overnight. It's like, were you looking good in training camp? If you're looking good in training camp, why wouldn't you look good in the fight? I don't believe people look old overnight. I think, they was looking old when they was in training camp and things like that, and they just pushed through it. I just feel like, I'm ready, man, and I'm gonna do what I do, and it's not. I don't think I'm gonna look old. I don't think ring rust is gonna play a factor. I think I've been looking very good in training camp, and I think that's gonna transfer over.
Everything comes down to one night in Sydney. One fighter is trying to complete an incredible comeback, while the other wants to prove he belongs at the very top of the sport. When the opening bell rings, there will be nowhere to hide. Who do you think wins? Does Errol Spence Jr. remind the world why he was once one of boxing's best? Or does Tim Tszyu defend his home turf and score the biggest victory of his career? Let us know your prediction in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more boxing news and fight updates.